Forever podcast.
Warm welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast. I've got John here to go through everything Celtic, the big Glasgow derby on Sunday. I'm Xander, so let's get started right into this, John. Let's say a wee quick hello first. How you doing, John? Celebrations finished for you? Still celebrating? How's things, buddy?
No, I've not really given it much thought, to be honest with you. That'll come at the end of the season once the trophies lifted, I think. Obviously, for a couple of days I was in cloud nine. Won the league, of course. Of course it's good. I think the real celebrations come trophy day, that's when realisation hits. Champions of Scotland again. I look forward to the trophy day. And of course I'm still enjoying the moment. I still watched the highlights of the game at Tannadice. Just kind of reminds you when you're kind of forgetting it a wee bit, just remind yourself. But it doesn't really kick in till trophy day, I don't think. No properly, anyway.
Yeah, that's it, John. You think of the highs and the lows of the season that we're still in, actually. We're still in the season, it's not finished. So think of the highs and the lows. And the bottom line is, it ends in this position where we're sitting as champions, John, with a cup already in the bag and a possible treble on the horizon as well if we overcome Aberdeen, John. So there's going to be a new competition for next season, folks. We'll get into that a wee bit later in the podcast. We'll explain a wee bit more about that, the new competition. But that's for next season, folks. So listen, a wee bit later in the podcast, we'll go into a wee bit more detail with that. A fantastic prize up for offer with the new competition. Right, John, let's get into this big preview then.
The Dead Rubber Derby
Preview of the Dead Rubber Derby, the Glasgow Derby. If Celtic win, you get the bragging rights for a couple of days. If the Rangers win, they get the bragging rights for a couple of days, although they'll probably celebrate for another 4 weeks, even though they've just lost everything, John. But no, John, it's a game that means absolutely nothing, and just playing this game for a feel-good factor if we win.
Well, that's all it is, really. I mean, it means a lot to me. I don't want to see Celtic going there and getting beat. Neither does any Celtic fan. But the bigger picture is the season overall. And Celtic, of course, champions. I never tire of saying that. Champions again. So the bigger picture is the trophies are already won. The league trophies already won. We've took the League Cup off at Sefco as well, which was nice halfway through the season. We took that off at We'll have that back. Thank you very much. That doesn't belong to you.
Yeah.
So it's all about the trophies, But listen, no Celtic fan wants to go to Ibrox and get beat. I've heard guys on the radio and that going on about bragging rights at the end of the season. Rangers fans can brag all through the break, before the season kicks off again.
Yeah.
What a load of nonsense. What have you got to brag about winning a game? I mean, what are you winning out of that game? A bit of feel-good factor, like you say, for your fans. That's it. That's all you're getting out of it. You've won absolutely nothing apart from one game of football it's meaningless. The big reality is this game, in reality, is totally meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. It's a game of football. If you want to brag about that for 3 months, knock yourself out. I know what I'd be bragging about, and it certainly isn't winning one game. It's about winning trophies for me. And Celtic, of course, on course for another almighty treble.
Yeah, almighty treble would be fantastic. Only Aberdeen standing in our way, isn't it, John? So, yeah. What I want to do as well, John, I want to quickly do our predictor first, John, because the games are about to kick off. So we'll do that in a wee minute, John. But what I wanted to have a wee quick word on was what you think Brendan will do in this one, John, because this game means nothing to Brendan Rodgers. Scottish Cup means more to him. Obviously, he wants to win the game. Obviously, there's no denying that. But will Brendan, do you think, spring a few surprises in this one? I know we've already got some players out, John. We've got Alistair now out of this one. Alistair Johnston's out. Jota's out for an unbelievable 9 months. Unbelievable, John. We'll get into that a wee bit later. Schmeichel's still out, and Yang is a doubt as well, but they're saying he's back in training. he could be in contention for this one, John. So there is already some players out of this one, and he's also chosen to rest Johnson for this one. Johnson could have played, but he's chosen to rest him so he can get a wee bit of treatment on his hip, John. So do you think he'll make some more changes, or do you think he'll go as strong as he possibly can?
I've really no idea. I mean, if you're asking me, obviously you're only asking me if I think he'll make changes. I think he'll go with the strongest possible team that's available to him, Sander. That's what I think. Yeah. And I can't see anything else other than that. I mean, he knows what it means to the Celtic fans. He knows what it means to the Celtic players. And he knows what it means to himself to go to Ibrox and get a result there. It's not about, this doesn't mean nothing to me. He's a Celtic man. We're all Celtic men. And there's no better feeling apart from winning trebles and trophies than going to Ibrox and beating them as well. And no, he's going to go for the strongest team possible, I think.
Yeah, that's it, John. As long as we come out of that one on Sunday, John, as long as we come out with that with no more injuries, I'll be happy with that, to be honest with you. It'd be lovely to beat them, but no more injuries, John, so we can field a full strength, more or less full strength team against Aberdeen in the final. That's my priority, John. That's just me, though. But beating them at Ibrox would be absolutely fantastic. I'll be on cloud nine if that happens. John, a quick predictor, right? Let's quick run through this. Dundee versus Motherwell.
Dens Park, Motherwell, of course, had a good win last week. I'm going to go for a Motherwell win here. I'm going to go for 2-1 Motherwell.
Yeah, Dundee fighting for survival, John. 1-0 Dundee for me. Ross County Hearts.
Ross County win. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Ross County win.
Oh, are you, John? Okay, one each for me there. St Johnstone, Kilmarnock. A big battle at the bottom of the league there, isn't it, for St Johnstone?
Don't like any of the teams, but I'm going to hope and pray for a Kilmarnock win. Send St Johnstone down. The ball boy cheats, of course.
Yeah.
Here's hoping for a wee... it's going to be close. I'm going to say 3-2 Kilmarnock.
Yeah, 2-1 St Johnstone for me, John. I think they'll get that one to keep them clinging on for another week. Okay, into the top half of the league. Hibs against Dundee United.
It's the Easter Road. I can only see a Hibs win here. Dundee United a good team, mind you, but Hibs to get into third spot. I'm going to go for a Hibs win here. Narrow. 1-0 Hibs.
Yeah. Hibs lost last week, didn't they? But I think they'll bounce back as well, John. 2-1 to Hibs. And St Mirren Aberdeen, John, is the last one before we go into the Glasgow Derby.
Oh, Aberdeen. Are they third? They're third right now, aren't they, Aberdeen?
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a Saints win, Xander. A plucky Saints win. I'm going to say 1-0 Saints. Yeah,
Dismals to continue their good form, John. I think I'm going to say 2-1 to Aberdeen. And just one more game, John. For a predictor, I added this one in. Celtic against Glasgow City. Ladies game, John. 1 p.m. on Sunday. Glasgow City versus Celtic, John.
Glasgow City flying at the top of the league, of course. I'm no one for going against Celtic, but I think Glasgow City too strong for Celtic. They're a good team, Glasgow City. Celtic kind of struggling. I know they came back to beat Hearts 2-1, but I'm going to say 2-0 Glasgow City.
2-0, I'll say 1-0 Glasgow City. Too strong for the Celtic ladies this season anyway. Right, John, that wraps it up. That's the predictor done. Let's get into the serious stuff then, John. Right into the big preview, John, of this one. We've already mentioned the injuries there, John. Jota out for 9 months. An absolute shame for the boy. An absolute talented player, John. 9 months. We're thinking that's maximum of 9 months. Brendan's saying between 6 and 9. We just hope the boy makes a speedy recovery, John.
Absolutely, aye. It's a shame what happened to him. A completely innocuous tackle that was. I don't know. You think there was something in it, didn't you? Me personally, I didn't really see anything. Like just a coming together, and it's bad. When that happens, you jar your knee with the stud stuck in the grass. You're looking at potential ligament damage, and that's what's happened. Sadly for Jota, we can only wish him, and every Celtic fan will wish him a speedy recovery, and we can't wait to see him back.
Yeah, that's it, John. Best of luck to Jota. Hopefully we'll see you early at the start of next season, son. Outstanding talent, John. Yeah, he's in contention, as we've already said, John. But he's had a good few weeks out, so I don't think he'll be starting this one. I think it'll be Dyson, Kuhn, and Big Eder up front. So as I'm like you, John. I think he'll go with the strongest possible lineup. But we'll get to the predicted lineup in a wee minute, John. Just want to run through the usual stuff. 13 degrees on Sunday, dry, sunny, and a wee bit of cloud as well. A wee bit overcast, a wee bit of sun. So perfect day for a game of football there on Sunday, John. Nick Walsh, he's the referee. He's the man in the middle. Hopefully, he has a good, strong game. It doesn't let the crowd get to him or anything like that. Hopefully, Nick Walsh has a decent game. And Andrew Dallas on the VAR. What do you think of the officials, John?
Obviously, I'm not a fan of Andrew Dallas. Who is? Of a Celtic persuasion. Definitely no me anyway, but they just got to let it play out and see what happens. Celtic can only look after themselves, Sander. Same as every game. That's all they can do.
Yeah, that's it, John. Same as every other game. Games on Sky, isn't it? 12 o'clock kick-off. That gives Ian Crocker, the famous Ian Crocker, a chance to say Old Firm another 45,000 times, John. That'll be perfect for him, I suppose.
Aye, he loves that, didn't he? All the Scottish media love that. I know he's English, but Scottish media that work in Scotland in general, they're a big fan of the Old Firm phrase, isn't they? Everybody's at it. I even heard Frank McAvenny saying it yesterday on his new podcast, which I won't be listening to again. Garbage. You want to start shouting about Old Firm when you're a Celtic man. Beat it.
That is quite bad, actually, John, isn't it? Because there is a lot of channels out there that don't say it, John. I'm not talking about Celtic channels. I'm talking about just general channels that don't say Old Firm. In fact, I was watching my grandson playing FIFA the other day, and Celtic were playing Rangers, and they don't say Old Firm in FIFA, and that's a worldwide game, John. That's official FIFA. They don't say Old Firm; they call it the Derby. So there you go, John. Even FIFA doesn't call it Old Firm, so that's quite bad with McAvenny's podcast. I know we're talking about something trivial here, but isn't it really trivial, John? Is it? A lot of Celtic fans get upset by, people still calling it Old Firms. You said last week, John, Celtic came out publicly and said they didn't want anything to do with the other side of Glasgow. They don't want to be tagged with this Old Firm tag, if you like, John. And as Celtic, as a football club, have come out and said that, and you've got people like McAvenny still saying Old Firm. That's quite bad.
Aye, I'm sure it was McAvenny. Somebody of a Celtic persuasion anyway. I can't remember who it was. I think it was definitely McAvenny because that's the only podcast I watched. And I love Frank McAvenny, Celtic legend, but come on, Frank, you should know by now it's not the Old Firm. Celtic have come out, like he says, and says themselves, it's not the Old Firm. We are part of nothing. Celtic says that. That's not our words. That's Celtic's word themselves. We are part of nothing. We're Celtic Football Club and we stand alone. So, I think ex-players, especially Celtic men like Frankie Boy, he shouldn't be saying Old Firm. That's words for your Rangers fans, that's their thing. Old Firm Football Club.
Yeah, that's it. I remember the Old Firm banner. That was hilarious. It was in the bin the next day. So the other one that annoyed me that said that, John, was actually 2 weeks after Celtic came out and announced that, was Paul Lambert. 2 weeks after Celtic came out and said we don't want anything to do with them, he hit out with the Old Firm. So there is some ex-Celtic players that still call it Old Firm, I suppose, John. Trivial to some people, but not so trivial to others, I suppose.
Well, it's no trivial. It's no trivial to Celtic themselves. They don't want to hear it. Celtic have publicly says they're part of nothing. There is no Old Firm. So why are all these pundits saying it when Celtic have come out and says themselves, don't be calling us Old Firm, we're part of nothing. But obviously the media, not interested. They still see Rangers as the same club and still see the Derby as the same Derby, which of course it isn't. So there you go. That's my feelings on it.
Yeah, you can say it to your blue in the face, wrong choice of colour there, but you can, John. You can say it to your blue in the face and it'll still get said in this country. In fact, you can say it up and down Britain, isn't it? To be perfectly honest with you, down in England, Old Firm. Pathetic. Anyway, why not just call it what it is? The Glasgow Derby. It doesn't hurt to call it what it is, Anyway, John, let's move on. I went through the Celtic injuries. Quite a few there, John. Let's quickly run through the potential Rangers injuries. Sterling, he's definitely over this one. Yilmaz, he's out for the season. Balogun is a doubt, but he trained with a face mask on, but he's still a doubt. And Lawrence is also out of this one. So they've got 4 out. Celtic got 4 out, John. Just to me, it's a dead rubber, John. You know, I'll be annoyed for a day or two if we lose it, which I don't think we will. I think we'll go on and win this one okay. But no, John, it's 4 out for each team. What do you think of that?
Yilmaz is a half decent player. They might miss him. I like Sterling as well. I think he's a half decent player.
Yeah,
like
he's good.
Balogun, of course. He's a half decent big defender, Balogun, you know. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's any of their key players that's missing though. So I think Yilmaz, I think he might be one of their key players. But Sterling, since Square Ball Barry's came in, he's not been one of their main starters, Sterling. But I like Sterling. I think he's a decent player.
Yeah, he's a good solid player still, isn't he? He's versatile as well. He's out, John, and I think that is actually a wee bit of good news for us that he's out because he plays well for them. I'll quickly run through what I think their lineup's going to be, John. Then you can give us your predicted lineup. I know I keep giving you the tough one because we don't know who's going to start on this one. Obviously, Ralston we think is going to come in for Johnston, don't we? But you can quickly think about it while I'm running through what I think the potential starting lineup for Rangers will be, John. Right, so we've got Kelly in goal. I think he'll still be in goals to place Butland. Suter, Proper, and Salah in defence with Tavernier, Raskin, Rice, Diamond, Dessers, and Agaman, John, up front for them. That's my predicted 11 for the Rangers. John, so it's back to you now, I'm afraid. What are you thinking, buddy? What's the starting lineup going to be? What do you think anyway it's going to be? Obviously we don't know, it's just a prediction here. But what are you thinking, buddy?
Obviously the defence is going to have a wee change in it, so it's going to be Sinisalo. I would like to see a bit of experience at Ibrox, actually. I would like to see Ben starting this. Big Celtic. He's been there a long time, Ben. But he won't start. It's going to be Sinisalo.
Yeah.
Big Liam Scales, of course. He'll start, although he had a nightmare the last time he was at Ibrox. But I think he'll rectify that. I think he'll be okay. It'll be Liam Scales, Vickers, Ralston, of course, with Johnston out, and Greg Taylor on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Centre of the park. It's going to be the usual three: McGregor, Hatate, and Engels.
Yeah.
Up front, like you says earlier, it's got to be Dyson on the left, of course. He's got to play Dyson on the left to keep Captain Fantastic quiet. So it's going to be Dyson on the left, like up against Tavernier, isn't it? And
yeah.
We'll see Big Adamida through the middle and maybe ruffle up that face mask of the big Rangers centre back. And Kuhn on the right. I don't think Jamesy Forrest will start this one. I think Nicholas had a fantastic game up at Tannadice. He's out to prove a point. So Nicholas Kuhn's going to start this one.
Yeah. Yeah, we need everybody to turn up, John, don't we? We need every single one of the players that you just mentioned. By the way, I agree with your lineup as well. That's the strongest possible lineup, isn't it? Yeah, we need them, all the boys to turn up. We didn't turn up the last time at Ibrox, didn't we? No, we're now going there as champions, John. We need the boys to turn up and play like champions. Even though it's dead rubber, John, the boys are professional, and I think they will turn up, to be honest with you.
Certainly hope so. We don't know, but Celtic's going to turn up. This is the thing. The Rangers have beat us twice this season. And I just hope it's not a psychological edge that they have over Celtic, because that can happen. Trust me, that can happen. It doesn't matter if it's only 2 games in a row. That can get into Celtic's head, that. So you've just got to hope that it's had the opposite effect, and it's really annoyed Celtic. They know they shouldn't be getting beat by them. I mean, St Mirren have beat them twice this season and it took a draw off them. So why can't the champions go to Ibrox and do the same as what every other team does that goes to Ibrox?
Yeah, that's it, John. They've not won a game at Ibrox if Ferguson took over. Still not won a game. Hopefully that remains the same on Sunday, John. 13-5 Rangers, 3-1 the draw, and Celtic are evens to come out with Ibrox with the 3 points. When you look at back to Clement when he was in charge there at Rangers, John, he got sacked when there were 12 points behind Celtic. Now they're 17 points behind Celtic, John, with a chance to go 20 points behind Celtic with a win for the champions, John. So that's That's wee Baza for you, John, eh? From 12 points to a potential minus 20. John, 20 points behind Celtic. It's really cold in Glasgow, if that would be the case, eh? Minus 20.
Aye, they'd probably celebrate that. They think high numbers is to be celebrated for some reason, and draws and defeats and all that, you know. Minus 20, that's worth setting off fireworks for.
Yeah, that's it, John. You'll hear the fireworks. I mean, they'll probably set more fireworks off than what Celtic did for winning the league if they come out with there with a draw or whatever on Sunday, John. You'll hear them. You know, you will hear them. That's their season, isn't it? Even though it's been a total embarrassment for them, to be perfectly honest with you, John. Celtic have just wiped the floor with them this season in every single competition. Right, John, big score prediction time. So I'm sure you'll be looking forward to this. But it's just a prediction. Nobody's, apart from the one person a couple of weeks ago who said we shouldn't give up our day job for predictions, even though we've had something like 28 right between us, John, for the season. What's your score prediction for this one, John?
It's a tough one, isn't it? I fancy Celtic to edge it. I really do. I know Rangers have got a goal on them, and they maybe they've played well against Celtic this season, even though they just punt long balls up the park. Very much a direct team, Rangers, aren't they? Very direct. That might test out the Celtic centre halves. They might sneak a goal out of that. I think Celtic's going to edge it. Hopefully edge it. We'll wait and see. It's not here yet, but I'm going to go for Celtic edging this one 2-1 under.
Yeah, take it all day long, John. One of the nervous ones, isn't it, if it's that close. You're still getting some Celtic supporters hitting with their 4s and their 5s, you know, and it could happen, you know. Champions turn up and play like champions. They could do that to any team. 4-5-0, John. It's happened the last 3 games in a row. But I'm like you, John. I don't think it will happen this time. I think it'll be 3-1 to Celtic at Ibrox on Sunday, John. So good luck to the champions. That would be fantastic. Just, 17 points behind, 14 points behind, 20 points behind. Does make a bit of difference, John, because come St Mirren, when we play St Mirren, we're the ones going to be lifting that big, heavy trophy.
Never felt the weight of that trophy, so I'd imagine it's quite heavy. The Rangers team, they've never felt the weight of it either, have they? Apart from the World Pandemic Cup. We got a wee shot at it then, just to try it out, you know. But no, that's exactly what it's all about. It's the trophy at the end of the season, and of course, no Celtic fan, anybody involved with Celtic wants to go to Ibrox and come away with a defeat. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about we're going there as champions. Celtic must surely have a point to prove to put them in a place after their antics at Celtic Park the last time out. And like he says, we go there as champions and we show them why we're champions. And hopefully that's the Celtic we're going to see show up. Come tomorrow, high noon, Celtic edging this one, Xander. I'll take a 5-0 though. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think Celtic's going to edge this one.
Yeah, it's, this is, as I said earlier, John, this is their season, playing Celtic. This is all they've got left, John, to play for, is to get any sort of result against Celtic at Ibrox, John, you know. Obviously, the stadium's going to be in full swing, isn't it? They're going to be, singing as loud as they possibly can, John, but it doesn't really matter, because if the champions turn up, nobody's beat them, John. Let's be perfectly honest with you. Let me quickly run through some of the scores so far, John, in the SPL. 27 minutes into the games, right? It's Dundee 0, Motherwell 0, Ross County 0, Hearts 0, St Johnstone 0, Kilmarnock 1. So there you go, John. You've already got you're halfway there to getting one up. Hibs 2, that's unbelievable. Hibs 2, Dundee United 0. It's only 20 odd minutes gone, John. And we've got St Mirren 0, Aberdeen 0. So what do you think of the A scores so far, John? That's a wee bit of maybe not a shock, but 2-0 up after 23 minutes, John. Dundee United against Hibs.
Aye, it's a bit of a quick start from Hibs, isn't it? But I like Dundee United. I'd like Dundee United to go in and win it, but it's looking like Hibs Aberdeen, isn't it, for third place. I think Hibs will push them all the way. I think Hibs will get third place. That's a bit of a shock, that one. Dundee United are a half-decent team, But, Celtic might put them after stride a wee bit with that 5-0 thumping at Tannadice last week.
Yeah, that's what happens, isn't it, John? Softens them up a wee bit, takes them out their stride, I suppose. What about the other ones, John? I know it's only 20 odd minutes gone, but Kilmarnock beating St Johnstone, getting your wish there, and Ross County beating Hearts, John. I mean, what's going on at Hearts? They're really in danger now, going into that relegation zone, John. The playoff place for the relegated teams. Hearts getting beat, 27 minutes gone.
Well, you says 0-0. I take it you meant 1-0. So it's 1-0 to Ross County, is it?
Yeah, 1-0 to Ross County, John. Yeah.
Well, I'm halfway getting that one right as well. It says 2-0 Ross County. But
well, do you want to know something, John? They must have scored while I was reading out because this is a live update, isn't it? They must have scored while I was reading them out because I did say nothing each, John. It's now 1-0. Yeah. Let me quickly check that, John. They scored in the 27th minute.
Right.
Hale, whoever Hale is. Hale and Pace.
Aye, well, there you go. Hale and Pace. Good luck to them. No, Hale and Pace, whatever happened to them.
All right, John. What I'm going to quickly do is run through the competition rules for next season, John, right? If you want to dig out some comments for us from anywhere you want, really, right? And I'll quickly mention the competition for next season. And it goes like this. All we need you to do is enter your name into the comments section, either your username or your own name, and competition entry. And that's you entered and logged and registered for the new competition for next season. Once you do that, I'll register it. That's you in. And basically, it's a massive league table for everybody that enters. And we'll get a correct score for every Celtic game in the season, whether it's the Cup, the League, whatever. Every game that Celtic play, you get this correct score, you get 3 points in the bag. Ka-ching, there you go. And whoever's at the top of the league at the end of the season wins the league. Absolutely superb. So get entering, folks. Only 6 or 7 have entered so far. I've not really pushed it because it's early, John. This doesn't start to next season. Cut-off date is the day before. The league kicks off next season. The first game at Parkhead. The cut-off date is the day before it. So get your entries in, folks, for that. The prize is a massive basket of Celtic goodies, posters, Celtic legend frame prints, Celtic football programmes, other goods, pens, key rings, blah blah blah. A big basket full of Celtic goodies there, John, for the winner. So good luck for everybody with that. Get entered into the competition, folks, and get your name in early, and I'll be you locked in and registered. So good luck, everybody, with that. Have you got your comments up yet, John?
Aye, I have.
Good man.
So I'll just go from the video. Obviously, after we beat Dundee United 5-0, so I'll go from that one. First up was one club since 1888 who says, a team of legends and totally underrated by everyone. Scotland's most successful team. Congratulations. Well, underrated by everyone in the media, of course. And the Rangers fans, and they actually think they're a better team than Celtic. They actually believe that, but they're sitting nearly 20 points behind.
Yeah, John, they do believe it. They actually think they're a better team than Celtic. I know they beat us twice this season, but what about all the other seasons? I mean, they beat us twice this season, John. We were miles ahead at kick-off. I know that's maybe the wrong mentality from the lads, the Celtic lads, to go in and not turn up with the 2 games, John. But it doesn't matter. They were 16 points ahead in one of the games and 12 points ahead in the other one, John. So players are going to do that. It's a natural reaction to put the tools away when you're so far ahead, John. And I hope to see a big difference. I hope Brendan's drilled that out of the boys come Sunday, John. Whether we've got all our main players out injured or no, John, we've got a lot of injuries. Alistair Johnson's going to be a massive miss for us on Sunday. But it doesn't matter, John. Whoever's on that park, I think you're going to see a team that hasn't put the tools away, John. A team that's going to battle for every ball. But no credit, John. The commenter's absolutely right. No credit up and down the country, unless it's a Celtic podcast that's giving them credit, John, like ourselves and all the other ones. That's it, John. That's the only credit Celtic are going to get.
Aye. But we've had that for decades, Celtic not getting the credit that they deserve. So it's no big surprise, that kind of stuff, but luckily in the current day and age, we've got a lot of podcasts and all that. These boys dedicate their life to Celtic, and that's all that matters. As long as the Celtic fans know, we know what We know exactly what Celtic have achieved. Celtic know exactly what we've achieved. And the whole of Scotland, Sevco included, know how big this is. They would dream, Xander. They would absolutely love to be in Celtic's position. And they're so jealous. The media, all the Rangers fans, they're all jealous. The Rangers team are jealous. They're absolutely raging with Celtic winning all this stuff. Trust me, they are hurting bad. And can you imagine if the roles were reversed? What it would be like in the media? What it would be like with the Rangers fans? All they're trying to do is downplay Celtic's success, but they're never going to do that because we know how good it is. And we love it. They hate it. They're in despair. And we're all over the moon and loving it. So, well, at least we know that. They know that. And we know they know that.
Yeah, what it boils down to for me, John, we're old enough to remember the 90s, right? We're old enough to have lived through it and before it. But anyway, we're talking about the 90s here, John, but we remember what the press was like when they were winning their nines in a rows. You know, absolutely pathetic the way they're going on about Rangers. It really was. But John, this isn't 9 in a row. This is 2 decades of total dominance. We've had a 9 in a row in amongst it, of course. But John, 2 decades of total dominance apart from a COVID season, John, it's been absolutely tremendous. And I remember back to the 90s, the way the Scottish press went on and on and on about Rangers. No mention, John, no mention of needing a stronger Celtic. Not once was it mentioned. All over the radio, all over the news, up and down the country, not just Scotland, British news feeds as well, John. It was everywhere, the glory, glory, glory Rangers, John. And you're getting absolutely nothing like it now. It is absolutely pathetic. And that's why we go on about it so much, John.
But you've got to remind people what it was actually like back in the days when Celtic were winning nothing and, everybody in the media, nothing's changed there. It was the same back then as well. They're glorifying everything Rangers done. And like you says, nobody ever says Celtic need to be stronger. But now that Celtic have got the upper hand in this country, we can hear the hatred in their voices about Celtic. They can't stand Celtic, we know that. And it's good to hear it, actually, because deep down what it's really about is they're hurting so bad and they're trying to downplay Celtic's achievements, which has been, it's unprecedented, isn't it? Quadruple trebles, Xander. These things will never happen anywhere on the planet again as long as we live. And they know that. And they know how big this is. Celtic know how big it is. They just don't want to admit it. All these goons in the media don't want to admit it.
No, it's unbelievable. You look at last season, John, when we went to, I think it was Ibrox, we went to and we lost when the league was already won, if you remember. Again, we hope that doesn't happen on Sunday. But anyway, it happened last season, John, and the overjoy from the press, from a victory and a dead rubber, John, a total dead rubber derby. It was unbelievable. It was like back to the 90s, the way the press has gone on and on and on. This is the change. This is the start of the change, all that nonsense. Look where we are a year later, John. We're now one game, 90 minutes away from yet another treble. Where is this? Where is the review of this, what the press were saying last year when they beat Celtic at Ibrox? So where's the review? Maybe next year, is it next year FC yet again, John? Is this what we're up against? Until they win a league title. It's going to be next year FC, isn't it? So just remember that, folks, last year when they beat us at Ibrox, they celebrated for another 3 weeks and the press went on. Remember, John? The press went on as if they'd actually just won the league. I'll never forget it.
Well, what the press are saying, and I've heard guys like Hugh Keevins and Gordon Duncan and all that on Radio Clyde saying the summer bragging rights for Rangers if they win this one.
Pathetic.
Summer brag. What are they talking about? Summer bragging rights? They haven't won anything. They've won one game. If they do win that, they haven't won anything yet. But they were saying if Rangers win this, it's the summer bragging rights. They get to brag all through the summer. Who are they going to brag to? Each other. Because the Celtic fans will put them in their place by saying, well, if Celtic win the Scottish Cup, Celtic fans can say to them, well, what are you bragging about? We've just won a treble. How's that summer bragging rights? The summer bragging rights is about who's got the trophies.
That's it.
You know what I mean? If Rangers had won a treble and Celtic beat them in a dead rubber at the end of the season, I wouldn't be bragging about it all through the summer. If Rangers fans were saying to me, we have won the treble, I'd be raging with that. I can't retort to them by saying, but we beat these in a dead rubber at whatever. Ibrox or Celtic Park. It's a lot of nonsense. The bragging rights goes to the team who are lifting the trophies all through the summer. So let's switch it around. Bragging rights. Rangers beat us at Ibrox tomorrow, let's say. Are you trying to tell me, no you, but them, are they trying to tell me that if Celtic, after that, going to win the Scottish Cup and complete the treble, Celtic fans are not going to have any bragging rights about lifting a treble? Who are they trying to kid? There's no summer bragging rights. You can brag for half an hour if you want after you've beat us. You've won nothing but one game of football. You can't brag about that, Xander.
Yeah, a game of football that means nothing, John. That's a game of football that means absolutely nothing. That's a game of football. If they win it, that's what they'd be bragging about. A pointless, absolutely pointless game of football. The teams can no turn up and just put out the reserves, John. That's how much this game means, But obviously, because it's the derby, the Scottish press have got this love in the Rangers Football Club, John. That makes it all the sweeter if you go to Ibrox and win, John. That just makes it even better.
Aye, well, this is it. I mean, you can't brag about winning one game all through the summer. But we beat you in a game. So what? What's in your trophy cabinet apart from the Petrofac Cup? And you know what I mean? They don't even have a trophy cabinet. They don't need one. What is there worth bragging about being a Rangers fan? What is worth bragging about? Crap team, crap stadium. They're just guff. If you beat us in one game, there you go. You can brag about it for us all through the summer if you want, but at the end of the day, look at the trophy count. What if you go? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
That's the facts.
Yeah. All right, John. Okay, I've got a wee bit of a just there. It is annoying, the Scottish press, and we had a full segment on it in the last podcast as well, didn't we? But that's just something we've got used to over the years, I suppose, as well, John. Isn't it? It's drilled in, it's drilled in that it's what team, they're actually want to be successful, John. And because the team that they want to be successful isn't successful, then, John, they're going to try and back them up as much as they possibly can. So that's what we've been up against for decades now, John, absolute decades. John, I want to have a wee quick mention on I forgot to mention this actually earlier on. We wanted to have a wee chat about this. The Europa League, John, the semi-finals of the Europa League. I listened to it on the radio, right? I was busy so I couldn't watch it, so I listened to the Athletic Bilbao game against Manchester United, John. I think Spurs were winning at the same time as well. And they were going on and on and on and on and on. I don't know, many times this guy on 5 Live said an all-England final, right? Fair enough, it's an all-England final, right? In the Europa League, the Diddy Cup, right, John? Do you know, in England, they've spent £6 billion, that's with a B, folks, £6 billion this season alone in the English Premier League, John, to get two teams into the UEFA Cup final, John. None of their teams done anything in the Champions League, and they're bragging about two teams from England in the UEFA Cup.
Aye, well, good luck to them. That's it. I mean, if that's all you can get out of your £6 billion, fair enough. I mean, I'd imagine that's £6 billion's the whole league. It's not between two teams, but the money they get down there, it's astronomical. We can only dream about that. What one club gets there off of Sky, the Scottish Premier League has to share less than that between them, the whole league.
Yeah.
So you can't compare that league with Scotland. What Celtic do is all done off their own back. They've earned every single penny that they get, Celtic. They earn that money, and they earn it the hard way. But these teams in England, all they have to do is check their bank account at the end of the season to see if the money for Sky's in, 120, 130 million per club or whatever it is. It's a joke, to be honest with you, the money that they get spent on them doing that. We can't, it's not even worth talking about, Xander. We can't compete with it.
No, we'll never be able to compete with the money they get, John. But as you say, free money. But the £6 billion, John, I know it is only two clubs in the final. That's fair play, and I can't argue with that. There only can be two clubs in the final, right? But the £6 billion, John, that they spend in the league means that all the other clubs can't spend their money on these players because they're paying over the odds for all these players. So they're getting all the best players in the world going into that league, John, and they can't get a team into the Champions League final. That's the point I was trying to make, John. I know Arsenal have got a wee outside chance, but again, they're losing 1-0 in the first leg when they played down in London, and they've got to go to France to play PSG with a 1-0 loss in the back pocket, John. But no, they should be out as well, John, Arsenal. But no, I just thought that was interesting, bragging. And you're talking about bragging rights earlier, and they're going on about 2 teams in the UEFA Cup, in the UEFA Cup final, John. So there you go. As you say, we can't compete with that, John. Let's move on, John. Any more comments for the thing? We've only had one comment so far.
Aye, but we spent about half an hour talking about it.
Good comment of the week. One club since 1888. Comment of the week. Well done.
Aye, well done. Paul McEwen just had his usual comment. Well done, Celtic, and the Celtic women are well. But Paul, I've watched a lot of Celtic videos, and Paul is on every single Celtic video with that same comment, Xander. Every video.
Is he? Right?
Honestly, he leaves the same comment on every single video. And we can only say thanks to you, Paul. You've always been there. You've always left a comment. We can only say thanks to you, Paul, for leaving your wee comment on the video. It's always good to see you.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. And he leaves a few on each video, didn't he? He leaves like 2 or 3 on each video. So, yeah, well done, Paul. And I didn't know he does it in every other podcast. So, well done.
No podcast. Just every video.
Every video?
Every video I've been on, there's Paul with that same comment.
He talks about Celtic on every video?
Just Celtic videos, I mean.
Podcast.
I don't know about podcasts. I don't watch podcasts.
Fair play. He's obviously a Celtic diehard, isn't he, Paul? So, yeah, well done, Paul. Just keep the comments coming in, Paul, because we love reading them out.
Absolutely. It's the same one, but we read it out anyway, Paul. Thanks very much, mate.
Thanks, Paul. Cheers, man.
Good to see you, Paul. Rosemary just says, make mine's a treble. Aye, make mine's a treble as well. We'll take that all day.
If you can make it a treble, that would be appreciated, Celtic. That would be fantastic. Yeah, make it a treble. That's all we're asking for.
Can you imagine celebrating a treble through the summer or celebrating 1 game, Xander? Take your pick.
Well, John, let's put it this way. I'd rather celebrate winning the League Cup only all through the summer than winning a meaningless game. There you go. I'd celebrate 1 trophy, never mind 3. Three's a bonus.
The League Cup we took half of them. It doesn't belong to you. We'll have it back. We just a wee shot at it, see how it feels, get the weight and all that, check it out. How does it? But, we'll take it back half since you don't like winning cups.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, serial losers. We say serial losers, John, right, and laugh and a joke, blah, blah, blah. But they are serial losers, John. Many trophies is it 3, and since the new club opened, John, 2012, 3 trophies, and what's that? 13 years. Yeah. We say serial loser. No, it's a joke. It's a fact.
Aye, well, as a fact. I can't say any more than that. Anyway, thanks for the comment. And next up was Gringo. Hey, Gringo.
Gringo.
Aye.
I think Gringo's been on before. And he or she. I think Gringo's been on before.
Aye. Anyway, Gringo says the real 55 unbroken. Dreams do come true. Hail, hail. Aye, well, you're right there, Gringo. 55 unbroken titles. Same club since 1888. Exact same club. Never been liquidated. I know I see comments for Rangers fans saying Celtic were a new club in '94. Not the same thing. Totally different thing. Celtic were never liquidated. Still the same club.
Yeah, that's just that's uneducated people trying to hit out with that nonsense. It really is. Liquidation. Once you're liquidated, you're dead. You have to form a new football club once you're liquidated, and that's what Rangers have done. Celtic have never had to do that. Yeah, and the rest is history.
Best tribute act in 13 years.
Yeah, 3 trophies and 1 COVID Cup, John. So that's 3 trophies. 2 of them were the Scottish Cup and the League Cup, and the other one was the COVID Cup. And I heard somebody on Clyde the other day, John, saying, maybe it was a week ago, actually, maybe a wee bit longer, saying that Celtic supporters say it was a COVID Cup. Well, it is the COVID Cup because it is the COVID Cup because you're playing in empty stadiums, but every single team in that season had half a team because of COVID cases, John. But Rangers went through the full season with 0 COVID cases. Another thing that's never been mentioned since, John. Not one game did they play where they had a player out with COVID. Not one. Anyway, John, we're going back again. We don't want to be going back because we're about to hopefully win our treble, John. And we just want to be enjoying these days. We don't want to be looking back.
I'm just still laughing at your Mel Beauty Bhoys Selector impersonation there.
No wonder they're going on national radio, John, and it's quite embarrassing. Actually, it really is.
I heard that, actually.
Yeah, facts are facts, John. They're facts for a reason. There's no lies getting told to you. You did play in empty stadiums where there's no pressure. You did play every game with no COVID cases. Well, everybody else had 5, 6, 7 players out, sometimes more. Yeah, John, when you look back to that season, and one day, I did say one day we'd maybe go back to that and break it down into how many players we had out each game, etc. But John, no, what's the point? Because that's the season they won the league, John, and that's hopefully the only league they win for a long, long time.
Aye, well, we'll wait and see. But you're right about it's not the COVID Cup. It's the World Pandemic Cup. The world's in a pandemic. Everybody's locked away in their houses, and there's Sefco sneaking up. Oh, this is our chance to be sneaky. Empty stadiums, no fans. All the players are out with COVID, apart from us. So we'll sneak in and get a horrible wee sneaky World Pandemic Cup. Means nothing. That the COVID season means absolutely nothing. People were interested about their loved ones dying. People going mad, being locked up in their houses and all that. And there's Sefco sneaking about, trying to claim a trophy. If that's the height of your success, good luck to you. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
World Pandemic Champions of 2000.
Yeah, I mean, the league titles all over the world, John, are being won by teams that have never won it. You got to remember that as well. France, Germany, Spain, teams that have never won it before. And that's all the big leagues, never mind all the smaller leagues as well, John. So, yeah, we've said a wee bit on that. I think we've said enough, John. You're right. Let's move on.
Small club, garbage. Just a small club that never won anything. The occasional wee Diddy Cup now and again, like the League Cup, every once in a blue moon. Anyway.
Yeah.
Gail Hanlon was up next. Gail says, come on, the boys. Hail, hail, champions again. Absolutely, Gail.
Champions again, and roll on the submitting game to that. Trophy gets handed over, Gail, till we get that big party down at Townhead or wherever it is, Glasgow Cross, wherever it is this year. Can't wait.
Aye, I can't wait myself. End of the season, once that trophy gets lifted, big day, Glasgow Cross, there will be there, thousands upon thousands of Celtic fans celebrating only the way Celtic fans can. Thanks for that, Gail.
Yeah, cheers, Gail.
Mad about football. Next meaningful game, the cup final. Bring on the Dons. Dead rubber derbies mean nothing, but we just spent about half an hour talking about that. Mad about football.
We did.
The day they mean absolutely nothing. But, you get the bragging rights for a couple of days. That's fair enough.
Yeah, that's it. That's for a couple of days. If even that, John, when you've just won the league title. That's a big if. They win on Sunday. That's a massive if. We both gave our predictions and said Celtic are going to win this one. So, if Celtic, let's put it this way then, John, right? If Celtic win on Sunday, which we both think they will, we'll be happy for a day or two, John, and then we'll look to the next game. John, that's the way Celtic fans deal with, victory and success, John. We enjoy it for a couple of days and we move on. That's the way it should be, John.
Well, this is it. I mean, usually derby games when the league has not been decided yet, during the season or whatever. Maybe Rangers are only 15 points behind or whatever. If we beat them at Celtic Park or Ibrox, well, maybe we'd be happy for a couple of weeks about that. But see, at the end of the season, when the trophies have all been decided, basically, apart from the Scottish Cup, a game against them, you're happy for a couple of days. We'd already won the league anyway. It doesn't really mean anything apart from bragging rights for a couple of days and seeing them sick for a couple of days. That's all it means.
Yeah, that's it. But we're on and on about it, John. That's what else can we say? It's, right at the very start of the podcast. In fact, look at your title at the bottom there on the screen. dead rubber derby, and that's what it is, and that's all it is. It's a bit of fun. It's just a wee bit of fun at the end of the season when the trophies have already been handed out. A wee bit of fun if you win, and I don't know. You don't talk to anybody for a couple of hours if you lose. That's the way we look at it, isn't it?
That's the way I look at it anyway, and the way you look at it, that's all that matters to me and you.
Yeah.
Other people might look at it differently, but for me and you, we look at it the same way, and I'm sure probably 99.9% of Celtic fans look at it the same way we do.
Yeah. Just beware of the bonfire night if Rangers beat Celtic on Sunday, because that's what Glasgow will be like. Absolutely pathetic, it really is.
Well, they're a pathetic club. Anyway, moving on, James Doran says 55 titles, unlike a certain club we know, and they are so desperate right now, they are bringing in a fakeover, but it still won't stop Celtic from winning trophies. The fakeover, well, we still don't know what's happening 100% with the 49ers, the Catholic organisation from the USA that's taken over a big share in Rangers. We don't know what's going to happen there. Will they be the ones to finally put the nail in the coffin of Sefcoat, Catholic takeover?
Yeah, well, John, you look at that's just a wee quick word on it, right? Because we need to call it a day soon, John. But just you look at who is going to want to pay off all that debt that they owe. I mean, how much do they owe? It's millions of pounds again, John. So the first thing that any new company going into that club would have to do is pay off that debt right away. Who's going to do it and then have to spend more tens of millions of pounds try to get the stadium done, try to get players in, all the usual things that has to happen when a club's on its knees, John. So who's going to want to do it? You need to be stupid to do it, to be honest with you, or plenty of money, one of the two.
Well, they've got plenty of money, but they certainly won't be spending it on them.
Well, John, if they're not going to spend it down in Leeds United, who've got a better chance of making even more money, they're not going to do it up here. That's for sure.
No, they're not going to. Look, Rangers fans are delusional. They think that these guys are going to come in and be the next Fergus McCann. That is not what is going to happen. We're not here to talk about them anyway, but if they believe that, let them believe it. I'll tell you right now, the way they're dreaming about things, it's going to be nothing like what they think. There's a huge mess to be cleared up there. And once that mess is cleared up, the 49ers make a few quid after them and they'll move on. It's as simple as that. They're not going to get riches. They think they're getting billions to spend on their team. That's what they think and believe. It's laughable, but we're not here to talk about them. But any Rangers fans listening, you have got it all wrong. That's not what's going to happen.
No, and we can't talk about them, John. We play them on Sunday, so we can talk about them all we want. That's who we're up against. But no, it's all we can do is wait and see what happens with that takeover thing, John. But it doesn't affect us. We're Celtic. We're the ones with all the money. We're the ones with all the trophies. We're the club that's got basically very successful football club, John. And we're not going to let that go without a fight, are we? Let's be honest.
No, we're not going to let that go. And what Rangers fans think is, let's just use it. I don't know how much the 49ers are worth. Let's say the 49ers was just one guy called Shuggy McGlumfer, right?
Right, okay.
Let's just say it was just one guy. And he's got £2 million in his back pocket. Sorry, 2 billion with a B, 2 billion in his back pocket. Rangers fans think Shuggy's going to come in and spend that 2 billion on Rangers. That's what they think, Sander. And they all believe it. That's what they actually think's going to happen. They think Shuggy's going to come in. I know Shuggy's not a real person, but they think he's going to come in and spend all his money on Rangers. He's going to clear their debt and he's going to buy them the best players in the world. He's going to get their stadium upgraded to a 66,000 seater stadium, which I've read on Rangers forums as well. They believe that. Where are they getting it from? None of this has been said. This is all pie in the sky. And they actually believe that Shuggy's going to come in and spend these 2 billion quid on them. Shuggy's there to have a look at it and say, how much money can I make out of this? And he's going to look at it and he's going to say, I'm not going to make that much, but I'll take a gamble. I'll take a wee gamble. Maybe buy them a couple of better players. And that's all it's going to be. There's nothing like new stadiums and all that. Nothing like that's going to happen. So and that's where I get my jollies out of. I love it. I get some laugh out of it reading that stuff.
Yeah, that's it. It's quite entertaining, isn't it, John? Right, quickly run through a few name mentions, John, and we'll call it a day there because time's getting on, buddy.
All right, well, James Doran, thanks, James. We've already
Cheers,
mentioned
James.
James, I think. One club
Cheers,
since
pal.
1888. A big shout out to Roseanne, of course. She left comments in other videos. Hi, Roseanne. Always
Hi,
good to
Roseanne.
hear for you.
Hi, pal.
I'm just going to the other video to get the names and then we can head off. Martin Nichol, hi, Martin. Nice to see
Hi,
you,
Martin.
mate.
Yeah, how you doing, Martin?
Lack Winders, pal. Lack Winders, pal. What a funny name that is. Anyway, Lack Winders, pal. Good to see you.
Yeah. Thanks for the comments, pal.
Lack Winders, pal. I'm Xander's pal anyway. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for the comment, pal.
PJP 812. Hi, PJP. I think that
Hi.
means Pope John Paul.
Yeah, Pops on Paul. Yep. Hi, PGP. Hi, pal.
Kegler Moon. Hi, Kegler Moon. Good to see you back, mate.
Okay, Gor, how you doing, buddy?
We had Roseanne, of course, and that we'll leave it there, Xander. But what I wanted to touch on before we go is thanks to everybody for your comments, by the way.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and keep them coming in, folks. That'd be appreciated. Thank you.
Before I go, I wanted to just bring up the Scottish Championship winners last night. Falkirk FC. Well done to Falkirk and John McGlynn.
Yeah.
They're now promoted to the Scottish Premier League with a plastic pitch.
Yeah.
So nice wee stadium at Falkirk, although it's only got 3 stands. It's a nice looking wee stadium, the 3 stands that are there.
Yeah.
So it's good to have Falkirk up, Xander. Well done to them, and we can talk about Brunei after you've talked about Falkirk.
Yeah, well, congratulations, you say, John, to John McGlynn and his team there. That's them back in the Premier League, first time in 13, 14 years. So congratulations to Falkirk. They'll need to rip up that plastic pitch by 2016-17, I've heard.
26-27, you mean?
26-27, yeah, John, sorry. Yeah, everybody has to rip up any plastic pitches that they've got, Kilmarnock included, by then. So, yeah, congratulations, John McGlynn. Anyway, John, as you say, you're going to mention Brunei as well?
Aye. Well, anyway, well done to Falkirk. It was good to see them. They've not been in the league for 15 years. Good to see he's back again, Falkirk. We look forward to playing yous. And we've got Brunei, who finished the league in third. Was it third? Aye, third.
Yeah,
Brunei finished.
yeah.
So Brunei's in a playoff against Partick Thistle this Tuesday.
Okie dokie.
And then the second leg's on the Friday. So you've got Tuesday and Friday, Ayr United against Partick Thistle over 2 legs. Let's have your score predictions, Xander.
All right, okay. Each individual game, John?
Aye, well, first we'll go to Tuesday. I think it's at, let me just check. I'm sure it's at Ayr first on Tuesday.
Right, so it's Ayr on Tuesday, do you say there, John?
Aye.
I'll say 2-1 to Ayr United, John.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tricky, I think. I'm going to go for... Partick Thistle's a good team, remember. I'm going to go for 1-1.
Yeah, the Jags are a really good team, John, but also Ayr United are flying. So, yeah, another win for me, John. And in the second leg, I think Brunei's going to do it. I think the second leg is going to be 1-1, John. And I think Brunei's team will go through 3-2 on aggregate.
3-2 on aggregate.
Yeah.
But look, one thing I really want is Brunei to do this. You really, really want him to get through. And I'm not sure where they're played, if it's at home first or whatever, but I know the 2 games. I'm sure it's at home first for Ayr United.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go for Partick Thistle to sneak through that one, Xander.
Oh, are you right? So it'll be Partick Thistle against whoever finishes second bottom in the SPL?
Aye. No, Livingston's still got to play their game as well, remember? Well, Livingston have got a bye. What happens is, third and fourth in the Scottish Championship play each other twice. And then the winner of that plays Livingston. Because Livingston they're in the playoff automatically, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So the winner of that has got to play Livingston. So if Ayr United do get past Partick Thistle, they've then got to play Livingston in a 2-leg game.
Right, okay.
And then the winner of that plays whoever finished 11th in the Premier League.
Okay, John, brilliant, superb. Thanks for that wee update, 'cause I didn't know that's how it works, to be honest with you. So Brian's still in me a wee shout then, isn't he? Albeit an outside shout, if you like, but he's still in me a wee shout, isn't he, John? That's superb. Good luck to Bruni. Anyway, John, good luck to him. He's got as good a chance as the other three clubs, I suppose. But Falkirk, John, yeah, well done to them. They're automatically up, aren't they? Luscious St Johnstone are going to be automatically down. And then whoever finishes second bottom plays either Ayr, Partick or Livingston. Does that sound about right to you, John?
That's exactly right, aye. Whoever's going down, be it Kilmarnock or St Johnstone or whatever, whoever goes down out of them, they need to play either the teams you just mentioned. It's either Ayr, Partick Thistle or Livingston. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be Partick Thistle that's going to be the ones in that playoff final against Kilmarnock or St Johnstone. I don't know, I've just got a feeling about Partick Thistle. I know Livingston just thumped Bruni's team 5-0 last week. Ayr United won 1-0 last night. So they finished third. But I think it's going to be Partick Thistle, Sander. I think Partick Thistle's going to overcome Ayr and Livingston.
All right, there you go. What a prediction that is, Johnny. I think Livingston are okay, but I know they got beat last night, right? But I do think they're a decent team. But are they good enough to beat whoever finishes 11th? Let's have a wee quick word on that, John. It's looking like it's Kilmarnock. St Johnstone are already down, I think, right? I think they're already down, the Saints. So you got your wish there, John. But it could be Kilmarnock, Ross County and Hearts. I think it's dragged down to that now if they get beat today, isn't it? So a wee battle going on down there at the bottom of the league, John, to avoid the playoffs.
Well, whoever it is that finishes bottom of the Premier League, I won't miss any of them, to be honest with you. I just like to see fresh teams coming in. You know, we visit fresh stadiums. Although I was looking at Partick Thistle Stadium on the telly the other night. Who was it they were playing? I can't remember who they were playing, but that stadium is an absolute dump. That needs something done with that stadium. That's going to be the worst stadium in Scotland, to be honest with you. Partick Thistles, it's a dump, Sander.
It's rough. It's rough. When you watch it on the telly, it looks quite bad, doesn't it? But, you know, that's been their stadium for, you know, they were formed, isn't it? So they've been there for day one, at Partick Thistle. But they've no money, John. They've no money to upgrade anything like that. So I do actually hope that the Jags do come up and they'll give them a wee financial boost as well, won't it?
Well, a wee financial boost to put a stand behind the goals at least. It's just the stadium looks rough. I like Partick Thistle, good wee club, well supported local team, you know, and Maryhill.
Yeah.
They're pretty well supported considering they're in Glasgow, you know. So I like Partick Thistle, and it would be good to see them coming up. I'd prefer to see Ayr United coming up. I'd love to see Bruni coming up. I just don't think Bruni's going to do that. I would love to see him doing it. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going for Partick Thistle. My money's on them to win the playoffs anyway, you know, in the Championship. I don't know if they'll get into the Premier League, but they'll certainly win the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe Ayr United against Kilmarnock in the playoff final, John. That would be some game, eh? Tasty stuff. Ayrshire derby there. That would be very interesting, in fact. Don't like each other, them, do they? Ayr and Kilmarnock.
That's a good shout, Sander. That's a very good shout. I would like to see that. The playoffs, that would be some game. I think I would maybe fancy Bruni in that situation, but we don't know yet. It's not happened. I'm just got a wee gut feeling about Partick Thistle.
Yeah, okay. All right, John. Glad you brought that up. That was interesting, isn't it? To see a couple of fresh clubs coming up, Ayr and Falkirk. That'd be nice to see, wouldn't it? Into the SPL. Good luck to them all anyway, John. Good luck to all the teams there that we mentioned. We'll wait and see what happens over the next week or two, John. Right, John, a wee sum up then. Glasgow Derby, weekend on Sunday, isn't it? Another excuse for a party for a day or two if we win, you know, because the main party is when we get the big trophy down at Glasgow Cross, John. So, big party there. But, you know, gives us a wee couple of days celebration if we beat the Rangers at Ibrox on Sunday. Not the end of the world if we don't beat them. We'll feel down for a day or two. Yeah, fair enough. There's a wee final sum up, buddy.
I don't really feel down for a day or two, to be honest with you. After the last derby, I was maybe down for about 10 minutes when I looked at the reality. It didn't really bother me. I'm beating us. It does bother me, but because we were so far in front in the league and all that, I think, look, it is what it is. It doesn't really mean anything. It means more to them, of course, because they don't win any trophies. But I was more down after getting beat with St Johnstone, put it that way.
Yeah. And a turn up, John. We just need the boys to turn up, don't we? Every single player, 11 players and the substitutes need to turn up. We know it's an intimidating atmosphere at Ibrox, and let's not lie about it. It is intimidating, that big crowd singing and shouting and bawling for, until Celtic score, really. But up to that point, they make a lot of noise, John, so we need every Celtic player to turn up and just do a professional job.
Well, look, this is it. I think Celtic will turn up. I think they will turn. No saying they're going to win. I mean, I've predicted a 2-1 win for Celtic, but if Celtic go out there and play like the champions can play, there is only one winner. If Celtic play the way Celtic can play and don't lose a bottle at Ibrox in front of the big crowd, of course, we've got 2,000 Celtic fans there or whatever. That's okay there.
Yeah.
But if Celtic go out and play the way they can play, we've seen Celtic go to Ibrox and win with no fans and play them off the park. And we know Celtic can play like that. And if they do, and if we keep Tavernier quiet, Celtic will go out there and beat them. It's as simple as that. And Dyson's up against Tavernier, and Tavernier bottles it when he's got Dyson playing. The last time we played him, we had no Callum McGregor there. Dyson through the middle, it didn't work. When Dyson switched over to the left, it seemed to work a wee bit better. So we'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah, and the return of the fans, you quickly mentioned that there, John, return of the Celtic fans into Ibrox. We just want the girls and boys to be safe there, John. We don't see any incidents whatsoever. Just be safe. Win, lose or draw, just get home safely.
Well, this is it, isn't it? I mean, we've not been there for a long time, so I'm sure the safety measures are put in place there. I don't know what the script is with Ibrox, what they have done to keep the Celtic fans safe. It's a crumbling old stadium. Place is a wreck. There's no real place where fans can get safety there. So we'll wait and see what happens. I'm sure there'll be things to talk about after the game, Xander, involving fans from Rangers. So we'll find out at 2:00 tomorrow afternoon.
All right, John. We will do, John. We'll find out soon enough. Not long to kick off, is it? All right, folks. Enjoy your Saturday night. We'll catch you all in the post-match on Sunday. All being well, if we come out there with a win, we'll do a post-match on Sunday. If not, it'll probably be Monday. Thanks for coming on, John. That was quite interesting. Going through all that, it was quite a lot to get through, isn't it? So I know it's been a full week for we've been on. So thanks for coming on, buddy, and we'll catch you on the post-match on Sunday.
Hail, hail, Xander. Speak to you Sunday.
Hail, hail, buddy, and hail, hail to all the Celtic supporters out there. And they're going to Ibrox. Just be safe, get home safely, and we'll catch everybody on Sunday. Hail, hail for now, folks.
The Celtic Forever Podcast.